This is the money shot. Look at this. Oh, come on. Maybe this is how my workshop should look.
What, like a museum?
Yeah. Let's go around here. For the last couple of years, we've been coming to Japan. I've made 10 videos about Japan and carpentry. In all of them, people have commented, you need to go to the Takenaka Carpentry Museum. Well, in this exciting episode, we're here. Ikimashou! Another thing about Japanese tools, they just look cooler. So Kobe is a beautiful port city in Japan, and right next to the main train station is the Takenaka Carpentry Museum. It's like a 5-minute walk. Now I've always wanted to go there, and usually they don't let you film, but we got special permission to do so. And we have to make it clear somehow to the other people here that that's the case. Press. I mean, even the building itself is amazing. It's so peaceful here, apart from the millions of cicadas outside making a racket. But in here, it's very peaceful. Look at these stairs. What's that?
This is a traditional mud wall, which you see in a lot of old Japanese houses, but they've shaped it to give it this texture.
Whoa.
It's so beautiful.
Makes you want to touch it, eh?
Yeah, I don't think we should.
Yeah, this is cool. So straight away, they start off with the most primitive tools, I guess, that we use. Is primitive a good word to use?
They don't look very primitive to me. They look really stylish.
Yeah.
Beautifully made. Simplified.
But the way they're kind of tied onto the timber is not like we do these days. But anyway, I'm touching this thing because I'm allowed to touch it. It says, feel free to touch. And you can see that that is sharp enough. When swung, that would do some damage. You see the sort of angle that that handle has. It's not two pieces of timber. It's the trunk and the branch. So that join forms the connection between the handle and the head.
This is one piece of timber.
One piece of timber.
Oh, wow.
And then they got kind of the evolution of the tools. These chisels here, which aren't too dissimilar from what we use these days, 5th century. What's that, like 1,500 years, 1,600 years ago? We saw this at the Kana competition, how they split massive logs by hand.
Finishing with a yari gunner plane, a finishing tool from an era before planes. The surface shaved with a yari gunner leaves a ripple-like marks. That's where you get this gorgeous texture. It doesn't feel rough in the slightest.
Yeah, it's kind of wavy.
Finer pieces.
And that's like chips of bark.
And then this one is with the adze. And then look, these are like quite thick.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like it would create such a fine, smooth cut.
Look, now we're getting the more advanced finish planing. Rough planing, finish planing, and in the finish planing, you get the beautiful ribbons. How many microns is that, you reckon?
That one's quite thick.
It is quite thick compared to what we've seen. I'll cut in some shots now of the Miki planing competition. If you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. It's amazing how thin they can get these shavings. This is the money shot. Look at this. Oh, come on.
Look at all these kana.
Amazing.
This is how they build with no nails.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
They're so strong.
This is useful if you've got a really long beam and you need to connect it but keep it strong. See how it's all interlocked there? And you can't pull it out. And that's because these pins are here. Pull this pin out, if you can. And then that goes like that. And here's another example of connecting a big long beam. And look, they've got a little sample of it here. And then that's the join, and then from the top. Oh. Nowadays we just put a big bolt through all of that, drill a hole. They kind of had bolts back in the day as well, look, they were just made of timber. So this joint's pretty cool too. The wedges keep it all tight, see that? Rock solid. So you can take that pin out, but you still can't get it out because these wedges are keeping it down. And now that guy comes out. Maybe it goes out the other way. Oh, it's tight. Oh my gosh, might not be able to get that back in. That's the thing with timber. I guess it makes sense to make it all adjustable because timber expands and contracts with the seasons.
That was like that puzzle I did at UY's. It was so difficult because the timber had expanded. I knew how to pull it apart, but I had to force it open.
Yeah, right.
It just expanded so much that it can't.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
You loosened it for me. Even that is just fundamentally so simple. But then, oh, getting it back in is oh no.
That's why I didn't pull it out. You need a hammer. Hey, or force. Careful.
A hammer or just a will of iron. I can line it up perfectly.
Ta-da!
Genius.
You in your element? Here's an example of the old inclines they used to use. And our friend Nikita told us that the craftsmen back in the day used to work on their incline and carve it and manufacture it in a way that showed off all their skills. So the better their incline, the more senior they were at being carpenters. And also I heard that when they would build a house, they'd use the incline to draw all the lines and draw all the marks on the beams. And then when the house was finished, they would put the incline in the walls of the house and leave it there. Here's an example of the incline here. See, they got a bit of cloth or something there. That's quite wet actually. And they'd pour the ink in there, and the line is running through that. So it soaks the line, gives you a nice thin line. And then when you ping it, you get a nice straight line there. Oh look, I kind of left one.
Maybe that's why it's wet.
That's what we do these days. We usually use chalk, but sometimes we use ink. But we just have a little plastic box. It's not expertly carved like that.
You should try and make your own out of a New Zealand native timber.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. That's an idea.
Let's.
Future video.
I don't think I'll help.
So the advantage of the incline over a chalk line is you get really thin, accurate lines. That's the whole point of it, which help them do things like this. See these beams? They don't just magically carve them to perfect shapes like this. You can see it here, there's string lines all over it. And over here, there's awesome videos on YouTube of these master carpenters drawing like complicated grids on their timber before they even get a saw or a chisel out. And eventually they mark it all out, cut and chisel it, and you get pieces like this. And eventually, temples like that. But it starts with the marking out. Well, it starts with the tree growing out of the ground, but you know what I mean. And then if you're building more than one temple, you make templates so you can cut them all again. See that? That piece there, see that there? So they can trace that onto the timber rather than, inventing the wheel over and over again. So you can just imagine like a workshop decorated with these. And that's how they build these pillars and beams and posts over and over. Okay, we're asked not to include their videos, but to describe what's going on here, one person holds this end with two hands, and the other person is on the top holding the other end with two hands as well, and they just go like that. See this blade? It's got like a hole over here, and then the timber's fed through it, and it's kind of loose. And then they go over here to the string, and they've got that bamboo there going through the string. They just kind of twist it around, and that tensions the rope. And then because the rope's going like that, getting tighter, the steel blade gets tense. And that's how you keep a rigid blade. It's like a giant coping saw. It's just a huge version of that. Amazing. It's like a fine piece of furniture, but it's an awning for a building. Nice. So this is French, yeah? Mm-hmm. French.
This is so cool. This part of the exhibition is European woodworking. So this is a French section with French tools and French carpentry, and a description about their what is it called?
Compagnon.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. If any French people are watching, I apologise in advance. Compagnonnage. Sorry, merci beaucoup. It's sort of similar to like the German journeyman.
Yeah.
And again, so much prestige. I mean, they have this uniform that they wear at the end of it, and like the white shirt represents purity, and you know, they're pretty decorated. And then over here is German carpentry and German woodworking tools. Esslingen City Hall. This is my favourite thing about Germany, was the architecture. You know, being a little Kiwi, 18 years old, I went there and I was in a town that looked like that.
Wow.
It was amazing.
So it was made up with joins like this? Wow.
My friend lived in a building where Martin Luther allegedly slept one night. And so they'd converted it into a shop that sold beds.
Really?
In her house, she just had these incredible beams through the kitchen, and I would just remember like the timber was so beautiful. I think it's fascinating to see the similarities.
When you're working with the same material, right? You learn what works. Alright, so that's the wedge. Oh, there we go. Might loosen things. Yeah, wedge number. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my god. This is crazy. What? Oh, and this. Stop it. Oh my lord. That's crazy. Yeah, bye. Okay, I'll try and put it back together. That might be harder. Okay, so in we go. Turn. Lock. And this guy goes in here. Oh, and then you must be up here. But maybe not. But here we go. Okay.
Yep.
So this was that slice that we showed. You go in between and it spreads the timber and makes it snug. Wow. Post and bean.
This is the smell of Japan. The second we got here, and we went straight to Nikita's house, it was like, you know, they say smells very strongly linked with memory. And the way her house smells, it's the hinoki, it's the cedar, and it's so
And
like...
the tatami as well?
And the tatami, as soon as we got to her house, it was like, oh, we're back in Japan. There is a smell here, and it's very good. Oh my god, I love hinoki so much. I think hinoki is still my favourite.
Yeah.
It just smells so good.
It's a cypress, right?
Elegant scent. It's just so cool to learn about the different properties of each timber, to see the shavings, to smell them, to see the tree, and to learn what is best for what application. Because we've travelled like from Hokkaido all the way down to Yuge Island on Kamijima, which is the inland sea. We've stayed in so many old houses and they've all been built with different timbers. And it's been really cool. And then to see these trees that I've learned about. The guest house we stayed in Kamijima was made of this, tsuga.
So the people who watch my channel are correct. This place is amazing. I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in not just carpentry, but architecture, housing, the way things are built, craftsmanship,
Timber,
art,
nature,
timber, nature,
working with natural materials,
artwork.
beautiful, interesting things.
Yeah. Including Kobe itself. Kobe is actually a really cool city. There's a beautiful harbour. The population isn't that big. It's not Tokyo, Osaka, one of these big cities. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Let's go.
Hey.
This one, the joints are a bit easier to move.
Wouldn't it taken so long, huh?
No, I know, yeah. That's funny. Mine's more special because you made it.
Nice.
Oh, that's so cute. I would have bought it for you for your birthday today. You're here, so.
How cool is that? What an awesome place, right? Yes, it's my birthday today. Today I turned 40, and what better birthday present than this? Jess organised all this. She's holding the camera right now. She met somebody at that Miki Tool event who was volunteering here, sent some emails to these guys, sent some emails to him, and before you know it, they allowed us to film here, which they don't usually do. That's why we had the press armbands on. Man, incredible place. So thank you very much, Jess. I really enjoyed that. And thank you for watching, if this is the end of the video. Atsui ne? I think I'm next to the extractor fan. It's even hotter.
Yeah, change seats there.
Famous Kobe beef. You love it? I moved away from the extractor fan.
They've served it with yuzu kosho, which is one of my recent Japan discoveries.
Yeah.
I need to go to the Zumaka and buy like 20 tubes. It's so good.
It lives up to the hype, this stuff, honestly. It's very expensive.
Oh my god.
But very good.
That is so good. Kobe beef, huh?
That was like 18, 19 New Zealand dollars.
And it was like 20 bucks a skewer. It's not expensive.
$20 for one skewer.
But it's Wagyu.
The best. I know, right? The swimming hole of Kobe. We're back. We're back in New Zealand. And there's snow on the bloody mountains. Snow on the mountain. It's cold here. It was -1 last night.
We both got sick.
Yeah.
It's just the shock of going from like 35-degree days to very chilly. House is warm though.
Okay, we tried to record that up on the hill, but I forgot my microphone, so the wind, yeah, it didn't work. 9 weeks. We spent 9 weeks in Japan, and it was summer, it was warm, and now it's -1 degree Celsius overnight here in, well, in New Zealand, where we live, in Nelson. But hey, I can't complain. We just spent 2 months in Japan, and it was amazing. And I've got more footage. I got more footage of tool shopping. We went tool shopping as far as Hokkaido, and we went to Kyoto, Osaka, and I'm thinking about putting it all together in one video, so let me know if you'd be interested in watching that. In the meantime, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform where you can build your online presence and run your business. If you want to set up a professional looking website and have thousands of templates to choose from, then head over to squarespace.com. You can scroll their many templates and find something that will suit the design of your website, and they have portfolios and galleries to really make things look professional. And on top of that, you can sell products on their website because they have e-commerce functionality built into the platform, including all the major payment services, and they have AI tools that would generate a website for you. Squarespace have SEO tools as well, and that's good if you have a services business, like construction, and you want your website to show up in Google search results. The SEO tools are built into the platform, so you don't have to use a third-party app or anything like that. And Squarespace have a free trial as well, so you got nothing to lose. But make sure once you're ready to set up your own website, head over to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry, and you can save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. You can start recording. I just want to have a quick look, for real.
Okay.
For the camera. We're literally just on our way to the train station to leave Osaka. No idea these shops were here. We just saw a Makita sign, then we saw another sign. There's like 4 tool stores in this little area here, and 2 of them are open at what, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning? And look at them, filled with all these tools. Isn't it amazing? Honestly, if I didn't have to leave, I could spend hours in here.